going on, Coach? Thomas here from MyCoach Ai, and a quick video today to show you what plain texts in the MyCoach Ai system can be used for. They have a couple different use cases. They're very useful for a few different things. I'm going to go over 3 specific use cases in general, but I want to quickly explain to you what they are and where you can use them. Again, 3 main places, which is quite straightforward. And once you see it once, you're going to be able to make use of them in very efficient ways. But you just need to know where you can leverage them. So let's quickly go over that in this video today in the next few minutes. So first of all, plain text, what are they and where do we find them? Well, if we go to our libraries section here, we will find one of the libraries called plain text, right? It is right here. And that is the specific library where we find any existing plain text, but also where we make new ones, edit or manage existing ones. That is your place where they are housed. So what are plain text? Well, as the name suggests, they are plain text documents that live directly within the system. So rather than something like a PDF or an outside resource that may contain text, this is just a text document that is native to the MyCoach Ai platform, which means it's much more integrated within the actual system, as we'll see in a second, and it's not something that needs to be opened in a different place like a PDF. So they're plain text documents. Anytime you need to do something in text form within the system, we recommend you use this. And really, things like PDFs are still great and can be leveraged within the system, but you would use those if you do a lot more styling, right? If you need to have it contain a bunch of images and maybe branding and colors and logos, that is where you would use something like a PDF, because that's not something that plain texts support. But if it's simple text elements, this is what you would use. So plain text, if we go into the library here, you can see that there is a bunch of templates as well. So we have pre-written plain text that are mostly educational and informational. And of course, you can write your own, where you simply put in a title and then the body of the text. And that's it, because they're plain text elements, as the name says. So that is really all that it contains. And you can make as many of these as you want to. And by the way, links that you put in there are fully clickable. They're going to be hyperlinks that can be directly clicked. They don't need to be copied or pasted. So where can we use these plain text? Well, a couple different places, but one of the first things to note is, yes, you can absolutely add them to programs and schedules. So when you are going to build your programs, or of course on individual client schedules, you can go with the plus button to the add plain text section and choose any of those from the library. And that's exactly what it is. It will just add this plain text element to their schedule or to their program. They're going to see that as a kind of to-do item for that day. They can actually check it off to indicate that they've read it or completed it, but it's not something that's tracked, right? This is not a progress metric. It's not actually something they have to fill out. So this is great for, say, you want to explain what a rest day may look like. Cool. Put the plain text element on their rest day, and they will see it on that day, right? Custom instructions for a morning routine, but without them having to track anything. Great. Another use case for plain text. So that is the first one, added to programs and schedules. Very, very useful. The second use case is that you can include them within your content groups. Just like many other content pieces, like videos or files, content groups have the ability to contain plain text within them. So I can go to any course modules or any resources that I built for clients and go to add content, select at the top, search all text, and then add any of my plain text. It can be really useful because if you're building courses or resources in combination with maybe videos, PDFs, or other material, plain text elements may be a really solid part of those resources. So add them to your content groups. That's the second use case. And the third use case is actually in messages, interestingly. So if we go to any messaging section here, we will find under our message actions the send plain text button. So this is actually where you can take these text elements that you have and you can use them as quick responses. So this is a very unique use case. What you could do is, if you get commonly asked questions, you can write plain text elements that answer those questions. And then whenever you get that question next, this is a way for you to immediately populate in the text that you had pre-written, edit it if needed, and then send it out. Give you a quick example. If I go to this one right here, say someone is asking, just take this first one, about vegan protein options. Cool. You can search for a plain text like that, see if it's already been answered. If so, you can simply press this button to populate the text right here into your text box, make any edits if needed, and then you can send it out. Just like that, super easy. So over time, if you build some of your own or you leverage some of our templates, you have a lot of quick responses available, so you don't have to keep writing everything out. This is an absolute game changer. Please do write some of your own plain text for that purpose. If you have a lot of clients asking the same things, this is an awesome way to go about it. The more you build it over time, the more time it is going to save you. And that's the 3 main use cases. A few different ones. It's a really cool, simple feature in our system. Again, they're simple text elements, but deeply integrated into the rest of the MyCoach AI system, as opposed to something like PDFs. And these are the type of things that they're useful for. So go make a couple of your own quick responses, add them to programs, add them to resources. And that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.